Okay, so today we're actually going to take a break from our area and circumference for circles and move on to a little bit of scale factors. We touched on scale factor a little bit in Unit 2. We talked about how scale factor was the same thing as a proportional relationship or a constant. Scale is what happens to every single thing when we either shrink or blow something up. Notice here we have a map. This is something that you can definitely use in your social studies class. The most important part of a map is the scale, and that is usually given in your key somewhere on the actual map itself. The thing that is going to be helpful for you is a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be a different color. It could be just a regular piece of paper. What we're going to do is take this piece of paper and we're actually going to line it up with our scale. And I want you to make some marks on the paper for the width of the scale. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in just a second. So I went ahead and marked the piece of paper like it is on the original worksheet. What we're going to do is use this to help us find the distance between two different places. We're going to start with Rivertown and the airport. So what you're going to do is you're going to line this up right here with the Riverton and the airport. Okay, we notice that if Riverton starts here, then our first mark ends here. Okay, and then we can slide that down, and actually our mark does end in the airport. So from here, from Riverton to the airport, that means that we had a span of 2 units. So from here to here, that was 1, and then from here to here, that's 1. Now this is going to be pretty easy because that's even. Is it going to always be even? And the answer is no. This is going to be, this one is going to be actually pretty easy. So what we know is from here to here, it tells us that 1 unit across is 10 miles. So from here to here is 10 miles. And we know that from here to here, that was 1 unit also. So from here to here, that's 10 miles. So we know the distance between the Riverton and the airport is going to be 20 miles because it's a total span of 20 miles. 10 plus 10 is 20. Okay. Now, as I went through this worksheet, it was not a good one to print out to show you guys today. All of the distances are even. So they all end perfectly at the end of one of our little marks. So I created an extra little town on here. Salida is definitely a town that we have in Colorado. This kind of reminded me of Colorado, even though our airport is not over here. There could be an airport somewhere west of the mountains near a forest. We never know. So I added the town Salida here, and I'm going to go from Mountain Town to Salida. So again, I'm going to use my handy little piece of paper here. I'm going to start at Mountain Town. Okay, so if I put it there, I'm going to mark where it ends. So from here to here, that is 1 whole inch. So 1 inch from here to here. Okay, gonna take it, and we notice that when we put our paper down, it does not go all the way to the end, because of course I made it that way. Notice that it goes 3/4 across. So we're gonna go ahead and write that down. So from here to here, that was 3/4 of an inch, and from Mountain Town to our first mark, that was 1 inch. So the distance between Mountain Town and Salida in this case is a total of 1 3/4 of an inch. Okay, we can actually take that fraction and turn that into a decimal. I'm okay with decimals. Again, I'm not judging you or grading you on whether or not you can do this with a fraction or a decimal. I'm trying to decide if you can do this just based on scale factor and proportionality. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to take our scale down here and we're going to write a proportion. So we're going to work this out the same way we did our warm-up today. So this says 1 inch is equal to 10 miles. This is our first ratio. So 1 inch over 10 miles. So remember when we went over this, I stressed that it was extremely important to label all of your stuff. So we have inches here and we have miles. Now one more time, again, the distance between Mountain Town and Salida is 1.75 inches. This 1.75 inches is going to go in the numerator, because remember, everything has to be organized. We want inches with inches and miles with miles. We're going to work this out using the butterfly method. So I'm going to multiply across here. So 10 times 1.75 equals 1 times x. 10 times 1.75 is 17.5. And 1 times x is just x. We don't need that one out in front. So we're done. Miles. So I wanted to show you that this could be easy if it ends up perfectly on a whole unit space. And then when it doesn't end up on a whole unit, how we can use what we've learned before to go ahead and set up and solve a ratio and proportion and solve for x. So again, if you need to watch this video tomorrow after school, this video will be posted on Google Classroom. You have 3 problems to work on right now. Those 3 problems are due before you leave today, and you will receive a worksheet for homework. Okay, please behave, do your best, and like I said, if you have any questions, message me. Thanks.